Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we take a look at 3 controllers with motorized platters. Stick around.
Hit Squad TV.
Okay, and here we are. What we have here are the only 3 DJ controllers with motorized platters, and that's excluding any of the Denon stuff. I know Denon's got the their CDJ type controllers. Those are just singles, but this is just these are full controllers, right? With 2 decks, a left and a right deck, with a built-in mixer and the crossfader, and of course we have the ubiquitous Pioneer DJ Rev7, the Rane 1, and the new entry is the Hercules T7. Now, all of these have a 7-inch platter. And we can start with the Pioneer DJ. So the platter on the Pioneer DJ, it's a 7-inch platter, but it has an information screen directly in the middle. The Rane 1 also has a 7-inch platter, and it has a 7-inch, it's a disc, and it has an adapter. So if you can see this adapter right here in the middle. Now, I know that you can get a regular 7-inch record and just put the adapter on the record, right? Otherwise, you have these discs. The T7, as the name implies, has a 7-inch platter as well, and it has what feels like an actual record. And I really like this thing because it actually feels like a record. Okay. So the thing with these is, in my preference, how I've been doing this for 39 years, and obviously I started on turntables, and I do prefer a real record. I really like the way the Rev7 feels. The Rev7 feels really good to me, okay? My problem with the Rane 1 is going to be the actual adapter. That adapter in the middle, it actually takes up surface area space, and so it makes it feel a lot smaller than what it really is, right? So that's why with the Rev7, it feels bigger than what it actually is, because there's nothing in the middle to hinder your hand, right? Like the Rane 1 has that adapter. But out of the 3, and I'm going to say this, out of the 3, I really love the way the T7 feels. The T7 feels a lot more natural, like a real record. Especially when you're doing any type of turntablism, like some scratching, mixing, cutting, whatever. The T7 is dope. It is really good. Another issue that, well, it's not an issue. So let's talk about what I really like, what I would prefer on a controller like this, right? And excuse my messy house. So I really like the Rev7 because it is set up perfect. In other words, growing up on turntables, I really like the fact that they have it battle style, right? That's what they call it, battle style, Philly style. Rane did not do that, right? Rane set theirs up like a conventional controller. They didn't think it through. It's almost as if they didn't consult a DJ, right? And part of my problem with the Rane is, if you look at the decks, they're set to the left. So your left deck, and then you have your right deck. Your right deck is slightly over to the left. And I don't like that. It actually makes the work area a lot smaller when I'm working, right? You don't have that issue with the Rev7, see? Now, the T7, it's actually like the Rane 1, but it feels better than the Rane 1. And it's still, I still have that issue with the right deck where the left, where the right platter is moved over to the left. But it just feels better. And I think it might have to do with, if I'm looking at it correctly, it might just have to do because I know that it's a smaller controller. It might be psychological. I still don't like it. I would prefer that they would have done the same thing as Pioneer. But it is what it is. Be happy that we have something at this price point, which brings me to the next fact that we're going to talk about. So as of this taping, right, as of this video, so we are in mid-November of 2024, the Pioneer DJ Rev7, it's MSRP on this, well, it's street price on it everywhere is $199.99, so $2,000. Right now, the Rane 1, everyone has it on special for $12.99. Now, street price originally on that thing was $15.99, but it's $12.99 right now. So, which means if we're in November, that means Winter NAMM 24 is coming up, and it just leads me to think that maybe these guys have something new coming out. So that's something to think about if you're looking into getting a new controller and you're watching this video. So out of all of these, I think the best, if you don't have the money to get yourself a Rane 1 or a Pioneer DJ Rev7, the T7, it's the way to go, man. So the T7, its street price right now is $699, so $700, right? And you actually get a really nice machine for what it is. Now, the Rev7 has built-in sound effects, right? The Rane 1 does not. You have to rely on the Serato effects, and the T7 also does not have built-in sound effects. That is also software effects, so Serato. And I think you can run these with Virtual DJ as well. Now, another thing to think about is the Pioneer. Well, the Pioneer and the Rane 1, you can use that with Algorithm's DJ app. So if you want to DJ off your iPad using some sort of streaming service through DJ, these things work great. I'm not sure as far as the T7, but if it's not already, it will be soon. Another thing that we have to talk about is the amount of DJs or amount of USBs that these machines have. The Rev7 has 2 USBs, so 2 laptops, so 2 DJs can DJ one after the other. Same thing with the Rane 1, right? The Rane 1, same thing. It's got 2 built-in USBs for 2 DJs. The T7, however, is for 1 DJ only. So keep that in mind. The next thing we're going to look at is build quality, right? So typical of Pioneer DJ, the build quality on the Rev7, I mean, it's plastic. It's plastic, right? But they've been making their machines out of plastic for so many years. There's a lot of machines out there that are still still out there doing DJ work, right? So look at their mixers. There's a lot of S9s out there, the S11s out there, S7s. They're all made out of plastic, right? And that was my biggest concern with Pioneer, was always the build quality. But it's pretty robust, right? Rane 1 takes it. The Rane products have always been made out of metal, all metal. And the build quality, the construction on these is top notch, right? The T7 is also, it's basically, you're looking at Pioneer quality, right? The plastics are a little different, but the quality is there. So Pioneer DJ quality, I really like it. Now let's talk about the motors. So Pioneer, they have their own motors. So if I try to, let's see, if I take this up, the way it works, if you can see the way their platter works, I have no explanation because I've never taken one of these apart. Now, Denon, so the Rane 1, I believe, is using the Denon motors, okay? I don't think Rane went and built from the ground up their own motors for their controllers. Since Rane and Denon are under the same umbrella within music, a lot of the technology crosses over, right? So I believe these are they're using the Denon stuff under the platter. In fact, if you wanted a bigger platter, and there's a video that we have on this, you can actually use the Denon their CDJs, and I can't tell you the model number right now, but you can use their platters, their discs on the Rane 1. So this is a 7-inch, and I believe theirs is at 8.5-inch. So if you wanted a bigger disc, you can use it off the Denon stuff. Now, these are both direct drive, right? The Rev7 and the Rane 1 are both direct drive. Here's the thing with the T7. It is a belt drive unit. Now, from my understanding, the system that they use is very similar to these portable scratching turntables that you see out there by Newmark and Stanton and all those guys. All of those little portable turntables, well, they're all belt driven. Well, they're belt driven as well. Let's see if I can pull this bad boy out. If you can see, it's got a little belt. Now, the only thing that I can tell, or the only problem, right? So we live in the Arizona desert, and a lot of times I have to DJ out in the elements, unfortunately. There's been situations where I've had to DJ and it's 115 degrees out there. And I just don't think that a belt drive turntable is going to survive the heat. I could be wrong, but I think that it's going to cause some issues with the turntable. Now, I have tried them both. I've checked them to see if there's any type of floating as far as your BPMs. There has been no issues with the T7. As far as size, I believe the Rev7 is around 29 inches wide, which brings, and the Rane 5 or the Rane 1 is 26 inches, and I believe this one's around 24 inches. Now, as far as height, if you can see how tall they are, the shortest one is going to be the Rev7. So here's the thing about the T7. It actually has Let me show you. It has these, as you can see, they fold out. It's got these little feet. See? There you go. Shout out to my boy Brian Red. I don't know how he does it all with one hand. But there it is. So if you pull out the built-in feet, well, the T7, it's taller, right? So let's check out what we have as far as the mixer section is concerned, right? Let me see. Okay. So this is pretty much an S7 mixer that you have here on the Rev7, as you can see. You have all the basic stuff, your trim, your high, mid, and low, and of course your filter section. And you have your toggle switches right here. Same thing with the the Rane 1. You have your trim, you have your, as you can see, you have your mid, high, mid, your low, and your filter, and of course the toggle switches. We have the same thing with the T7, right? So these are all basically the same. Now, what I do like more about the T7 is your looping control. Your looping control is basically a little wheel. See this? So if you're gonna loop something, you just hit it, and then right here, you just turn the wheel and you can go 2, 4, 6, 8, or you can go down, right? Make it stutter. I love this. This is so user-friendly, right? That function you find here for the Rane 1, right? You just hit it, and then you hit the buttons for timing. And with the Rev7, it's the same thing. It's got you got the button here, and then right here is your timing on it. Let's talk about the faders. So, Pioneer, DJ, and Rane, they have their own faders, right? And basically the faders that you find on the Rev7 is going to be the exact same fader that you'll see on the S11 mixer, and it's a really good fader. It's real sharp, it's real light, super light, feather light, right? The fader, and you know what? And it also has, you can either make it loose or tight, and of course it's got the regular functions as far as making it sharp and all that stuff. With the Rane 1, it's got the mag fader. Now, hold on, let me see here. Yeah, it's got the Mag 4 in it. So their faders are really good too. This is basically the same fader that you're gonna find on the Rane 70, the Rane 72, and it's a great fader. Their up-down faders, you know, I don't remember if it's the exact same fader. I know that the up and down fader on the Rev7 is not the same as their crossfader, right? But those faders, the fader on the Pioneer, it's really good. The fader on the Rane 1 is really good, and I believe on the Rane 1 it's you can replace it. I think you can put like an inno fader on this thing, right? So, which brings us to the faders on the T7, okay? Now, the fader on the T7, unfortunately, I don't know what kind of fader it is. I know it's just a Hercules fader, and I'm not having any issues with it. It actually feels okay, but it's not the same quality as the Rane 1 or the Pioneer DJ Rev7 fader. In fact, you can't actually replace this this fader, okay? I know that Innovator is working on something. If it's not completely out, Patrick Denahar, Queasy, hit me up or comment, comment on this video. I know that they were coming out with a solution where it was a complete board where you can replace all three faders with Innovator style faders. That's something you could look into. I'm not too sure. Elliot, let me know, brother, if that's out yet. Again, this video is coming out in mid-November 2023. But if you put the Innovator stuff in here, this thing would be beastly. All right. And of course, as far as the pads and all that go, Pioneer has really good stuff. The pads feel great. I think these guys are using the Akai stuff since it falls under the same umbrella within music. The pads on the T7, it's got like a little click to them, and it's not bad. They're okay. They're okay. Like I said, this is a $700 controller, okay? As far as everything else, I mean, it feels pretty good. It feels good. You know, all the knobs feel okay. $700, right? They don't feel like the Rane. The Rane stuff feels really, really good, right? Even I think the Pioneer stuff feels, or the Rane stuff feels way better than the Pioneer stuff. It still feels plasticky, but definitely better than the T7. All right, let's take a look at the front of the units. Hey everyone, something that I forgot to mention about the Hercules T7 is that it does have the onboard stem control. So if you're into using stems, as you can see right here, you can make whatever track you're playing into an instrumental or just a vocal track. That is something that the Rev7 does not have, although you can go into the Serato settings and you can make you can set that up so you can have onboard stems on the Rev7. And I know you can MIDI map it to the pads on basically on any of the machines. So but yeah, I forgot to mention that. Okay, so I have all three units stacked here with the Rev7 on the bottom, the Rane 1 on top, and the T7 in the middle. Let's look at the front real quick. I'm gonna move this light over real quick. So as you can see here on the Rane 1, you have your mic controls. So the Rane 1 has mic controls in the front because it comes with dual mics. And that's something I forgot to actually check on the T7. And so you have levels for both mics. Of course, you have your adjustments for your crossover right here. And the contours for your up faders. And you also have a, these are your headphone controls. So that's what's on the Rane 1. Now, on the Hercules, all you have are your headphones. That's all. That's the only control you have. And of course, with the Rev7, you have both your mic controls are in the front. You can see that. Then you have your adjustments for your faders, your up, down, and your crossfader. And you also have your headphone controls, your headphone inputs, and of course your auxiliary. So the Rev7 has an auxiliary, and actually the Rane 1 also has an auxiliary, but I don't think the T7 has an auxiliary, but we're gonna find out together. Let's turn this light off. There we go. Let's come over this way. This is the back panel for the Rane 1. As you can see, you have your mixed inputs for the microphone. So 2 mic inputs, right? So it can either be a 1/4 inch or XLR. You have an auxiliary in, right? Deck 1 and deck 2. You have your RCA main out, and of course your XLR main out. Your booth out is XLR on the Rane 1. Of course, you have both your USB outputs, so you can so 2 DJs can be on this at once. This has a motor torque control, your fan, and of course your on-off button and your IEC connection. That is for the Rane 1. Okay, now this is the T7, right? As you can see, the T7 has XLR outputs. It's got a RCA outputs, your microphone input. Let's see, your microphone input, your USB out. This goes to your laptop, your on-off button, and of course your power in right there. So this does not, the T7 does not have a booth output, and it does not have auxiliary. So you cannot use an external device on the T7. All right. The Rev7 has your master XLR, master out RCAs. It has booth 1/4 inch, right? Both your USBs A and B for 2 different DJs. You have a now these are for your channels. You can actually hook up like you know, you can hook up tape decks if you wanted to, right? Just run them offline, or you can hook up turntables, and of course you've got your ground there. You have an auxiliary, so you have an auxiliary, of course, and then of course you have your 1/4 inch mic input, and then you have these are gains. So a lot of people forget that the Rev7 has these for the mics, and they complain about the microphones not sounding good, not sounding right, and it's because of these right here. And of course you have your universal or your 1/4 inch / XLR. You have your power, and of course your power in. The thing I like about the Rane 1 is that you don't, it doesn't have a brick, right? It's the power source is inside. These two, you have like the external brick. So there you have it, folks. That's basically all 3 of these. Now, the Rev7 weighs about 23.5 pounds. So does the Rane 1. The T7 is about 16 pounds. So you might want to, so like if you're a DJ and you're in a city like New York and you're riding the subway to work, you can carry one of these, a T7, you take it with you in a backpack. It'll be easy. It'll be lighter, that's for sure. You can, I'm not saying you can't take one of these, the Rev7 or the Rane 1, but I'd rather have 16 pounds on my back than 24 pounds, that's for sure. But yeah, and this is where the Rane 1 and the Rev7, this is where they shine. They're really pro controllers. The T7 is not, in my opinion, is not a pro controller. Can you use it at a club? Can you use it as a wedding DJ? Absolutely. But there are some things that you're going to have to do without. Like, for instance, it does not have a booth output, and it does not have an auxiliary. And the faders, well, that's something that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to fix on your own with somebody like Innofader. Well, there you have it, everyone. Just a quick overview of all three of these pretty legit, in my eyes, controllers. Again, the Rev7 is going to be the top dog here, in my opinion, right? And it all depends. There's a lot of people who are brand boys, fanboys. So you have the Pioneer DJ fanboys and the Rane DJ and the Rane fanboys. I get it. I get that. And in fact, I was one of those guys that was I was a Rane DJ for many years. But to me, the workflow on the Rev7, in my opinion, that's what I use. It's my bread and butter. I owned the Rane 1 as well. And of course, now you have the T7 available. I think that the T7 is more suited as an entry level or maybe a backup controller. Now, I didn't really get into the whole sound card thing because, I don't know, I think that's pretty subjective. Everyone hears things differently. I've heard people talking about the T7 having the greatest sound card ever, believe it or not. A lot of people like the Rane stuff, and a lot of people like the way the Pioneer stuff sounds. So that's entirely up to you. I won't get into that. But tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you think in the comment section, which controller you like and which would be better for your situation. But that's it for me. My name's DJ Noiz with Hit Squad DJs. Thanks for tuning in to Hit Squad TV, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Oh, and you know what? Go get yourself some t-shirts. Yeah, that's right. Hit up our store. See you guys later. Peace. Just a quick bonus here. Honorable mention. I forgot to actually bring in. So if you're on a real budget, and of course, $2,000 or $1,300 to $1,600 or even $700. If that's not within your budget, yeah, you can maybe try something like this. This is part of the Rev family. This is the Pioneer Rev 1. So it's basically, it has every single feature the Rev or the T7 has, minus the spinny platters. Right? And obviously the size, right? But yeah, for $279 street price, you can get yourself one of these. Or for $700, you can get yourself one of these. There's something for everyone.